What's going on, guys? I'm Zach from the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we will be talking about Iron Bundle. It is Christmas time, so this does really work, but the truth is this is just kind of the most interesting Paradox Pokemon purely because of the rumors around it. Not rumors of our world, but rumors that exist within the world of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So let's just jump right in. So with the Paradox Pokemon, be it past or future ones, we see kind of explanations of them, but these aren't real explanations. These are more like, think about how in our world, we say there's a Sasquatch in California, there's a Yeti in the Himalayas, there's a Plesiosaur in Loch Ness in Scotland. All of these things, maybe they're true, but also they very well could not be. It could have been someone saw a snake swimming kind of way out, and it could have been kind of a big snake in Loch Ness and went, oh, that's a dinosaur swimming out there. So it's kind of just humans trying to explain something that they don't really understand what it is in their own way. And that's what these paradox explanations we get in the games are. Things like how they say that Fluttermane is a ghost of a pterosaur. They say that Hariyama is an athlete that was turned into a cyborg. And Iron Jugulus, I said Hariyama, I meant Iron Hands, I apologize. Iron Jugulus was the love child of a robot and Hydreigon. Yeah, no, seriously, that's what they say. Things like that. Now, we learn from Professor Sada and Toro that, these Pokemon are just ancient versions of the Pokemon we have today, or future versions of the Pokemon we have today, depending on the version you're playing. So, clearly, it's not that. Clearly, Iron Jugulus is just a descendant of Hydreigon, not a love child that he had with a robot, just a descendant of it, in the same way that humans are said to have descended from something, and dogs have kind of descended from wolves, etc., etc. Now, Iron Bundle's interesting, though, because it is in the future category. It's in the future Pokemon, so it is a descendant of the Delibird that we have today. But its explanation for it says that it is a robot created by a civilization long lost to us. Now, this is kind of interesting because they say that they've even found depictions of this robot, of Iron Bundle, in a civilization lost to us. Now, this isn't speculative, you know what I mean? This isn't someone seeing Iron Hands and going, oh, I bet that's an athlete that got turned into a cyborg. No, this is actual research was put into this. They found a civilization that seems to have made Iron Bundle. But this civilization was in the past. But Iron Bundle is a future form. So, what happened there? Well, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. I've got two possible explanations for this. So, the first one is that we were looking at, and this is kind of true either way, but we're looking at a very advanced ancient civilization. Think about the Pokemon version of Atlantis, where, Atlantis is kind of said to be this place that was super technologically advanced. People think that it sank in the ocean, and some people even go as far as to think that it did sink in the ocean, but because they wanted it to, and they're still alive down there and have learned how to live underwater. This is kind of probably Pokemon's answer to that. So this is a civilization that was super advanced and was able to progress the evolution, not the evolution in the sense of Pikachu evolving into Raichu, but the long-term evolution. So more like Great Tusk becoming Donphan over millions of years of Delibird. So they were able to get Delibird to become Iron Bundle much, much quicker. Now, that's really cool. Now, what happened to this civilization? Well, one, it could be like Atlantis, where it's just kind of lost forever, and it's a thing of, we can see some stuff that might suggest that it was real, but we certainly haven't found where it is, if it is real. So maybe they, went underwater and are living fine far away from our crazy world, or maybe they just died out. And because they died out, their iron bundles kind of did too, because they didn't have this advanced civilization that they fit in with. No, they had to live in like the modern world. Just because something evolves to get these different traits doesn't mean that these different traits are good right now. It just means that over time it's having to adapt these traits so that it's good then. But that doesn't mean that's better now. And that's what would happen here. Iron Bundle all died out, and the Delibird that still existed outside of this ancient civilization thrived. Or maybe this civilization was so advanced, they figured out time travel before the professors did. They got in a time machine, and, maybe they even saw some kind of conflict of some kind coming. There's tons of ancient disasters in the Pokemon world. I mean, you have the banishing of Giratina, that's like way far back. You have the war between Kyogre and Groudon that Mega Rayquaza stopped. You have the meteorite that hit Hoenn. You have the ultimate weapon being fired 3,000 years ago, the darkest day 3,000 years ago. You even have the Great Crater of Paldea. Something had to cause that, and it's been around for 1,000,000 years. So whatever caused that happening 1,000,000 years ago. All of these things are potential options, or it's something that we don't know yet. But they saw it coming, and they made a time machine, and they all hopped out of the future and avoided what they at least believed to be an extinction level event. And then Iron Bundle thrived in the future with the help of this civilization, and when Professor Turo, and Pokemon Violet was pulling in Paradox Pokemon from the future, one of them was Iron Bundle, because it had already been created and was brought to the future. So it's funny that this is a Paradox Pokemon, because this actually kind of takes the word paradox very literally, in the sense that, like, it is a paradox. Like, it's hard to wrap your head around. Now, another theory that could be for why this is that Paradox Pokemon are actually not descendants of Pokemon that we have today. The Violet ones are not descendants. Now, the past ones are indeed ancestors. You'd be able to prove that with DNA. But the Violet ones may not be true descendants. For it to be a descendant, it has to have descended from that thing, like, naturally, right? But the fact that these are all robots kind of implies to me that they are in fact not natural, that they are man-made. It could be we get to kind of an apocalyptic kind of situation where we are trying to make the world a better place. Something happened. Maybe it was war, maybe it was just some kind of disaster, but we're trying to recreate Pokemon with what little we have left. So Iron Jugulus is a human's attempt at recreating Hydreigon and making basically a Hydreigon that's a cyborg. Iron Bundle being a Delibird that is a robot. Like, it's not really Delibird. It's not something that Delibird descended into. It was something a human made in an attempt to recreate Delibird. This would make a lot of sense to me because, there's nothing organic about these Pokemon, really. Like, I mean, they have LEDs for faces and stuff. So this is kind of where I'm more leaning, but that still doesn't answer, well, then how come Iron Bundle was in the past? Well, maybe that Iron Bundle was, if we go back to what I said before, created by a really advanced civilization, and, the civilization died out, so Iron Bundle died out. But in the future, when someone is trying to rebuild these Pokemon after this apocalyptic event, they find these old civilization blueprints for a Delibird robot, and they say, yeah, this all checks out, and so they recreate Iron Bundle. But either way, that's kind of the only way to explain this Pokemon. Again, it's super interesting, and I love that, like, we're able to talk about this at Christmas time, completely by coincidence. I just really wanted to talk about this guy, but yeah, let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about our true Paradox Pokemon. And also be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss our future Pokemon Theory videos and stuff we're doing Paradox Pokemon. This concept has blown the game wide open, and there's about 1 billion videos I have bouncing around in my head that I'm excited to make for you all. So again, you don't want to miss that, so like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And then until next time, I will see all of you later.